Hey, if your name's Barbara Jean, we need you to hear super, I don't know, Bruce told me to hear. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Jasmin Queen, and I am here today to teach you how to make superfood mac and cheese. Do not let the word superfood make you go, ew, I don't want it. We're just going to have just a little bit of healthy in it, and then it's still going to taste like your normal comfort food mac and cheese, alright? Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. Up here I have a head of cauliflower. I have it already chopped up, and you're going to see this is a really easy recipe. This isn't going to take us long at all to make, and it's going to be super easy. So I have a head of cauliflower. I have 16 ounces of noodles. I have some milk that I'm going to go ahead and get out of the fridge. I might need that. And I have a cup of milk here. So what we're going to do, we are going to put our head of cauliflower in a steamer. We're going to steam this cauliflower. Now, if you do not have a steamer, you can still make this recipe. Alright, you can still cook this up. You do not have to have a steamer. You can actually steam cauliflower in the microwave. You could steam it in a pot on the stove. You could go to Ingles and go to the frozen section, and they have cauliflower there already in bags that steam, so you could do that if you are in a crunch for time. That would work too. I'm going to turn this on for about 10 minutes. Now, if I were at home, I would probably steam this for about 30 minutes, only because the more you steam it, the easier it's going to be to puree it. And you're going to see why we need to do that in just a second, okay? So I have my cauliflower going. I am now going to put my noodles in my boiling water. One thing about these noodles, I just have regular elbow noodles because that's what you're used to seeing in macaroni and cheese. If you want to get crazy with it, you can. There are so many different types of noodles that you could use for this. You can find brown rice noodles. I don't know what he's talking about, so I'm going to ignore him. Because I know him, I can do that, but I would not ignore you people over here, okay?
Bow tie noodles.
Okay, you can use bow tie noodles. You can use these elbow noodles. You can use brown rice noodles. If you want to get really crazy with it, there are sprouted noodles, which are even better for you, but they're kind of brown, and it doesn't make it nearly as pretty, okay? I don't know about you guys, but this recipe, because we're swapping the cauliflower, we're going to use that instead of heavy cream and butter and flour. I did it to trick my kid. She has on headphones right now, so she's not listening to me.
I am.
Oh no, she is listening. Now I'm in trouble. Now she knows what I've done here.
I'm just using it to block out the sound.
Okay, so she's not really listening, which is great. But we're going to use the cauliflower instead of all the heavy whipping cream and all of that stuff. So in my house, we have a little rule that we don't get too sloppy. And what I mean by that is we're not going to use cauliflower instead of heavy cream and sprouted noodles. I can trick her with one item, I can't trick her with two. So today, we're tricking her with vegetables because she needs some veggies in her. So that's what we're going to trick her with today. She's like, no, don't trick me. Don't do it. Okay, so we have our cauliflower steaming. We have our noodles boiling. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to get some cheese. And when I'm doing this, I like to use a block of cheese only because it makes the cheese a little bit creamier. Again, if you are in a pinch for time, there are times that I have to get my daughter to soccer practice, but I still have to feed her. I want to feel good about what I'm feeding her. I want to go, hey, good job, Mom. You fed a vegetable today and she ate it. All right? So if I am in a crunch for time, I'm going to use the steamable cauliflower, and I'm going to use a bag of shredded cheese. And that's going to be just fine, but it's not going to be as creamy as what we get here with this cheese. And you know how I told you this was a super easy recipe? It's so easy. Look, I don't even have to do this. I don't even really have to shred the cheese. I could have just got a bag, but I figured I'd provide some sort of entertainment while I'm up here, right? So I'm just going to shred some cheese for you. While I am shredding the cheese, I think it's probably pretty important. I should tell you guys a little bit about my background. Well, my daughter's telling me how to shred cheese. She's my helper out there. But I figure I should probably tell you a little bit about me. I am originally from a little town called Crossville, Tennessee. It is up in the mountains. Oh, look, I got woohoos. Yeah, go Vols. That's right. They're going to beat those Gators today, okay? But I received a master's degree in education, and I moved to Atlanta and started teaching 4th grade down there. And met my husband and had our daughter, and then fast forward a few years, I'm looking on Facebook and I see an ad for a weight loss show. Now, after I had my daughter, I gained a lot of weight, and it's not her fault, I love her, but I did gain weight after I had her. And I was scrolling through Facebook and saw this ad. Do you want to lose weight and be on TV? And I'm like, my husband does. I know he would love to do that. So I signed him up and got a phone call, and they said they needed my background information. And I'm like, oh, this is meant for my husband, right? And they're like, no, we want you, not him. And I was like, no, I do not want to do a reality TV show. I have zero interest in it whatsoever. But the producers were nice, and the premise of the show was different than what I'd ever seen before, so I thought, whatever, I'll do it. So I got selected to be on this reality TV show. Really, really hoping it would be on some, I don't know, network that nobody had ever heard of before. It was on ABC, and I about died when I saw it was on ABC. So, reality show on ABC, and the premise of this show was you had 5 contestants, and those 5 contestants got to pick an expert. And the expert actually wrote the diet that you were going to follow. The show was called My Diet is Better Than Yours. And if you're at all interested in seeing my journey on that show, they still have it. You can watch it on Hulu. You can watch it on abc.com. You can go to any of those and see it. So the girl I picked, the diet I picked was a diet called the Superfood Swap Diet. And it was written by a lady named Dawn Jackson Blattner. Now, Dawn, a little interesting tidbit about her, which I find so cool, she is actually the dietitian for the Chicago Cubs. So she walks around sporting a World Series ring and carrying a trophy. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'll work with you. So she taught me how to make this macaroni and cheese. When she first came over, she said, well, what do we need to do? What are we gonna cook here? And I said, my number one thing is we need to cook something that my daughter will eat. And she said, well, what's your favorite food, Callie? And Callie says,
mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese. And she said, well, we're not going to eat that anymore. We're going to learn a new way to eat macaroni and cheese. And that's where the superfood mac and cheese actually came from, was my diet lady on the show trying to find something that we could make that Callie would eat. And now it's a hit in our house. If you ever go back there and watch the show, you'll notice we cooked this and we sat down and we ate it. And I said, Callie, what do you think of this mac and cheese? And she's like, oh, this is so good. And I said, do you want me to tell you what's in it? And she said, okay. And I said, cauliflower. And she went, bleh, bleh, I don't want to eat it anymore. So now I just make it and I don't tell her it's the cauliflower one, and she doesn't even know. So that really seems to work for us in our house. If you do decide that you like this recipe, I have more on inglestable.com. You can go on there. I've got one for a super swapped apple pie. I've got a chicken unparm. There's some really good healthy meals on there that you can go and check out. All right, I'm almost done grating this cheese. We're just going to put this like there. Now, I'm using 8 ounces of cheese right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put most of it in with my cauliflower in just a second, and I'm going to leave just a little sprinkle on top. So I'm going to check my noodles and see how we're doing here. And we have about 2 minutes left on the cauliflower. Does anyone have any questions while I'm doing this? You guys all with me? Yeah? I like this. This audience is easy. They're all like, yeah, I've got this right here. This isn't the hard part. The hard part is feeding it to your kid and seeing if they like it or not, right? At least it's quick. It's very affordable. It doesn't cost very much at all to make, and it makes a huge pan. So you can make it the night before you're going to eat it, cook it the next day, and you can actually reheat it for a couple of days and it'll still be So it'll be just fine. All right, looks like our noodles are almost done. Let me check our cauliflower. Yep, I think our cauliflower is actually done. All right, so what we're gonna do is we have a cup of milk here. We are using 1% milk today. If you are not a milk drinker, then don't use milk. You can use plant-based milk. You can use, I guess that's still technically called milk, but you can use almond milk, cashew milk, any of those that you would like to use. If you're really wanting a good full fat flavor, use the whole milk. We're still throwing some cauliflower in there. You know, we can still feel pretty good about ourselves, even if we're using regular noodles, whole milk, but we have that cauliflower, right? So we're feeling pretty good. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna go over here to the food processor. If you do not have a food processor, you can still do this. You can do the same thing with a blender. If you have one of the stick blenders, you could use that. You could technically use a potato masher, but that's not gonna get this as creamy probably as you want it unless you stand there for a while and really mash it. But we'll go ahead and get our cauliflower in our food processor. And like I said, if I were at home, I would probably do this for about 30 minutes. Only because it's going to make it a little bit easier to puree. It's still going to work, but that would at least make it a little tiny bit easier. So I have 1 head of cauliflower here. I have 1 cup of milk. I'm just going to pour this right in. And then I'm going to put a little bit of salt in there. And now this is one of those recipes too that you could really make your own. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you wanted to use pepper jack cheese instead of the cheese that I use. Or maybe you wanted to throw some chipotle seasoning in here. You can really make it your own when it comes to, well now, aha, there we go. All right, so we're gonna turn this on. We're gonna puree this. We're gonna puree it until we get the consistency of really runny mashed potatoes. So that's what we're gonna do here. Don't know why this isn't coming on. Oh, but it's blinking on me.
If it's blinking, it's not locked.
It's blinking. So let me just tell you, when I was doing the show, this happened to us all the time. And one day I was sitting in there and I was so mad at my steamer, and I'm like, why is my steamer not working? What's going on here? And my husband was like, honey, it's not plugged in. I was like, oh, that might have, look and see, here he comes. I don't think that, no, that's not locked. No. See, this is why I need you, right here. I always tell him I married him because he's so handy, and I married him for his last name because our last name's Queen. So I tell him I married him because, well, in that he's cute and sweet too. But all right, let's see if look, and he fixed it. Oh, honey, you're so good. Look, you're getting cheers from the audience. Thank you. All right.
That's fine.
Okay, it only takes just a few seconds to really get it good and blended with this.
That's why I'm gonna bring him over here and it's big enough to.
We're going to check it just to make sure it's the consistency we want. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to take this puree and we are going to pour it into our bowl here. And now keep in mind, if you see something up here and you're like, oh my gosh, that's not how that's supposed to be done, don't yell at me because I am not by any means a professional chef like Bruce back there. See, look at Bruce. Bruce is back there dying. He's like, no, that's not how we do that. And I'm like, look, I'm a home chef up here, okay? I cook for my family, and this is how we do it with my family, okay? All right, so I've got my head of cauliflower in there. My bowl's not too big, so I'm gonna leave a little bit back there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my noodles, and you really need to use the heat from the noodles to melt the cheese. So we're going to make sure this is nice and hot. I'm going to strain this. Put a trip back here. going to pour my noodles into here. I'm going to make a mess while I'm doing it just because that's more fun. And then I'm going to put my cheese in. And like I said, I'm going to use almost all of this cheese. I'm going to save just a little bit for the top, because that makes it look even more like real macaroni and cheese. So we're going to save a little bit for the top. And the heat from these noodles is what's going to melt our cheese here. Now luckily, you see how messy this is up here. Luckily, I have one already in the oven for you guys, and it's not nearly this messy, so. All right, so again, we're just gonna mix this right in. You know, normally when you're making macaroni and cheese, my husband, the guy that came up here and saved my blender for me, right? He makes the best macaroni and cheese. But when he's doing it, his white sauce, of course, is the heavy cream and the butter and the flour. And now, I will tell you, we still eat that. We'll eat that. You know, that's for special days, though. That's for Thanksgiving and that's for Christmas. But if we want macaroni and cheese, just a normal day through the week, we'll make this one. We'll sneak the veggies in. And again, we'll feel pretty good about ourselves that we got at least something, some sort of veggie in. All right.
Use your bigger bowl.
Typically at home, I would have a deeper bowl. Oh, I do have a deeper, see, I love him. He's like, you do have a deeper bowl. Thanks, honey. Maybe next time I'll just have you up here with me.
No.
No?
No.
He says no. Oh, this is, honey, thank you. This is so much easier. All right. So you'll see as we're getting that cauliflower stirred in and the cheese stirred in and the cheese is melting, it's starting to really look like the macaroni and cheese you think of when you think of macaroni and cheese. Okay. And if we still have a few little clumps, that's okay, because after we get finished doing this, we're going to actually broil it. So if it's a little clumpy, that's all right. Our next step is to put it in the pot here. So we're going to put it in this bowl.
No, it'll fit in that one.
And I'm making some serious messes up here. Oh, Bruce is next, so I'm just going to leave it up here for him. I'm going to be like, here you go, Bruce. I've left you some messes up here today. Okay, so we have it in our dish. Again, I'm going to top it with a little bit of cheese that I have left. Make it look like that macaroni and cheese we think of when we think of the comfort food that we like to eat. And then to give it a little bit of added crunch to the top, I'm going to add some panko crumbs. And you know, those come in all different flavors. So again, you can search up the flavor of this by just changing, look at this, okay. By just changing your panko. Today we just have the whole wheat. And we're going to put just a little bit up there. And then we are going to broil this in the oven on high for about 5 minutes. But again, I already have one in there cooking that we're going to serve you guys today. So you're actually going to get to try it. And then you can see for yourself if you think you can fool your child with this or not. Or your husband. You might have to fool your husband. I don't know. So we're going to see.
Or your wife.
Or your wife. Look at her. She's like, see? Those back there are two of my favorites. For sure. Okay. So let's look at our mac and cheese that we've had cooking. And if you see, I don't know if you guys can, maybe I can put it in front of the camera. But that's going to, can you see that? There we go. So that's going to look like just normal mac and cheese. You can definitely fool someone with this. In fact, I took it to my best friend the other day and I said, I made you mac and cheese. And she said, is any of that healthy stuff in there? And I was like, never. I would never do that to you. But I did, and she didn't know. So there we have that. So we're going to sit down with that. We're not really going to do anything with that one. So our finished product actually looks like mac and cheese, but it has cauliflower hidden in it, and there we have it. So we're going to get this served up to you guys so you can taste it. Again, if you love this recipe or want to see if I can do anything better than this, you guys can go to inglestable.com. I have this on there. I've got some super swap apple pie, some chicken unparmed. Oh, I have a delicious smoothie recipe on there. That is so good. Such a good smoothie recipe. So go check that out. And if you have any questions, I will be up here. I can answer anything. If you hate it, we'll pretend my husband cooked it and you go yell at him. statue really quickly. Maybe.